important conversation indeed. Now, in a very short space of time, we've seen the killings of various members of the LGBTIQ plus community. Tell us more about that.
So we've been having a scourge when it comes to the killing of LGBTI persons or queer persons in the country, especially this year. And if I count, I think we have over 13 queer bodies that have been killed, or queer persons that have been killed, and which is quite alarming and also concerning, because also the nature in which they are killed is quite graphic, is quite it's violent. There's so much hate in the way they are being killed.
Yeah, and I mean, just taking a look at some of those incidents as well, you're speaking of just of the gruesome ways as well that these killings are happening too. The 32-year-old who was stabbed at his gate, he was stabbed at his gate in Gqeberha, and these are mostly people who are out, right, and have come out to their families and their community members. So you would think that there is a level of high acceptance and tolerance.
Yes, these are people who are out in their community, so they're living their lives, not in a closet. And yeah, and it's not only Ulani who was killed in such a bad way. Not so long ago, also I think in June or July, Nelly, a lesbian woman who was killed, chopped up, also very close to her home. So it's concerning that also the target are people who are living their lives, who are open about who they are, and it almost seems like they are being targeted for being out, or being targeted that they are not living a secret. So yeah, that's the worry that we have.
And in Nelly's case as well that you're mentioning too, I mean, it's quite tragic indeed. It is also said that she was killed on the day of her 28th birthday. But also speaking about these attacks seemingly being targeted as well, I mean, the one incident as well with Sipho Malinza, who is from KwaZakele, he was bullied by a group of men to say that he should drive us around, and when he refused, he met his demise and he met his untimely death.
Yeah, I think that incident also shows the disrespect, or how other community members see queer people, that they could do anything with them, and that queer people can't say no to them. And if they say no, it means that they are disrespecting. Because for somebody to come into your car and tell you, drive me around with my friends, and if you say no, and then they kill you for that, and kill you because also you are out and you are gay, is quite concerning. It just shows you the level of hate that is found in our communities, the level of intolerance, the level of disrespect, that a person could just come into your space and want to tell you what to do. And if you say no, they then deal with you because they feel that you are less of a human than them because you identify differently.
Yeah, and you know, when you're speaking of these targets as well, that it's clearly hate crimes too. In the incident, another incident that happened recently of a couple, Siyasanga and Abongile. Now, they were just having a good time. They went to their local tavern and they were targeted, specifically them, a couple who were there together, out and proud.
You know, that story, it was so sad to listen to her sister, Siyasanga's sister, giving me the details of how she had passed on. And in the same room, there was an old granny, Siyasanga's granny, who was quite old, but also the pain in her sister's voice, and that Siyasanga cried out for help until her last breath. But also that in a tavern full of people, a group of guys will just come in and just target only two people who just happen to be a queer couple, which is also quite scary. It's scary because also Siyasanga, being somebody who was active in a community, who played soccer, who was loved by her community, and this was quite shocking also for her to be killed in such a way that she should be gunned down in a kind of an assassination style or being killed like an animal in a way. But also this doesn't mean that it's only Siasanga's family or Abogile's family that have lost somebody here. It's a whole community that has lost somebody. It's a community which has lost a coach. It's a community who has lost somebody who has participated in building a community without committing crime, without uh, uh, going into anybody's business, but living their life to the fullest, living their life honestly, and loving someone. And being killed for that also shows where exactly we are as a country, that we are a country full of hate. We are a country with no tolerance on people who identify or express themselves differently from us.
And Sibonelo, as you're speaking as well, it's not only, of course, the families, but also an extended community. But, you know, one also just, their heart breaks for families too. In the case of Noktula Botomans, she is a queer woman who was stabbed to death, her body also found mutilated. But her family only found out on social media about her passing.
Yeah, which was also sad. It's sad stories because some of these people also I have met, and I've met Noktula once in an event which we have had as OUT, and to find out that somebody could take someone's life who is so shy, so loving, so warm, so dedicated to making other people smile. Uh, yeah, it was sad. It was also sad how the family found out. It was shocking for them. And also the condition in which she was found was also traumatizing for her siblings and also for her family, as her family described her as somebody who was always up and down in the community, but in her up and down, a shy up and down, always doing things, always smiling, always interacting with neighbors. Um, so it is quite sad that we lose people who are beneficial to the community just because of hate.
And just briefly, before I let you go, what does this do to the plight of people wanting to come out and live truthfully and honestly and happily?
I feel that this hate movement is trying to keep people in the closet. So I think they are trying to send a message that if you come out, we will show you, or if you live your life, we will show you. You will die like a dog, or you will die like an animal, like they've done when killing queer people. But I guess people, if they stay in the closet, I think their lives will be miserable. So I don't think people will want to stay in closet. So I think what they are trying to do is not going to work. It's not going to deter us from being ourselves. It's not going to deter us from living our lives fully. And they can't kill all of us at the end of the day. As much as they have killed and they've taken over 13 lives this year, and these are only the lives that we know of. And there are so many that we don't know of that have perished. So they can't stop us from being us. So it's just ridiculous that they would think that by killing or by killing us in such violent ways, it would deter us from living our own lives. We will continue living our lives the way we want to live our lives because we don't infringe on anybody's rights. We're just being ourselves, living our lives to the fullest. So, yeah, it's a sad reality that we find ourselves in, but it doesn't stop us from living or being who we are. So no matter how many people they kill, we're still going to be who we are.
A sad reality indeed. Sibonelo, thank you so much for talking to us on this very important topic. That was Sibonelo Ncanana from the LGBTIQ Plus Services and Advocacy Group, OUT LGBT Well-being, expressing concern over murders of queer individuals in the Nelson Mandela Bay region.